Hello everyone and welcome back to boxing lesson number 26. Today's boxing lesson is going to be less about technique and more about the mental aspect of boxing. This is something that I thought that it would help you as you're coming up to kind of not get discouraged or what to expect mentally from boxing. And today's main theme is going to be confidence. Confidence is a huge part in boxing. If you've been boxing for a while and you lost confidence, you know how hard it is to get it back. And if you've been boxing for a while, you know how hard it is to actually have confidence, okay? So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my journey with confidence, general things about confidence and how to build it up and how to never lose it, although you are going to lose it, but how to get it back every time you lose it. And yeah, now there's two types of confidence in boxing. There's earned confidence and there's non-earned confidence. So when you're walking in the gym, you might be very non-confident because it's your first time in the gym. And then you might see people that are very confident in the gym as soon as they walk in, but that's kind of it's not real confidence. It's just they just expect different things. Maybe they expect that they're really good at boxing and then they have to go through the things where they find out they're not, and then they find their real confidence. But just walking into the gym the first time ever, you're going to have two types of people, those who are not yet confident and those who are very confident. Maybe they had street fights, maybe they played other sports, but that's the general how it goes. Now, for the non-confident people, when you're first stepping into the gym, it could seem very scary, especially if you haven't boxed before, if you've just watched it on the TV, if you just first time coming into a gym. So I remember my first time stepping into the gym. I was 12 years old, about 13 years ago. Walked into the gym, saw my later friend. First time meeting him, hitting the speed bag. I went crazy when I saw that. First time smelling the sweat, first time being in the heat of the gym. And I remember that very clear, and how nervous I was and just all of that. My first boxing lesson. And yeah, so with confidence is, why are we not confident in boxing? Why are we not confident, right? So first of all, we've never done this before. It's our first time. We've heard different things about this, but we never really found out for ourselves. So people might have told us stories. We know that's very dangerous. We know that the main thing for every guy and maybe girl that boxes is, am I going to get beaten up, right? So these things that go through your mind when you first show up to the gym, you're not really going to have confidence, right? It's going to be pretty low. Now, I want to talk more about how to build that confidence, right? So the first things first is just showing up. So no matter how bad you do on your first day, no matter how good you do, you just have to constantly show up to the gym. Now, constantly showing up kind of overrules everything else that you're going to learn or going to think that's going to give you confidence. If you beat someone up one day and then don't show up to the gym for 3 months and then show up again, you're not going to have confidence. So the first way to build your confidence is to just show up to the gym. Win or lose, good or bad, just show up to the gym every single time. And your confidence from commitment, right? It's going to give you that confidence that you belong here because you are showing up. That's the first thing. The second thing is working hard. Now, your coach is going to give you, and your sparring partners or whatever, they might make it very difficult for you in the gym. And that's where you have to, not difficult by beating you up, but difficult by the type of work you do, right? So boxing is different than a lot of sports. You have to be a good skipper. You have to be a good runner, but not a marathon runner. You have to be maybe a good swimmer, but not a racing swimmer, a competitive swimmer. You have to be a calisthenics person. You have to box. You have to be light on your feet. You have to throw with power. So all these things that you're going to be working on, each one individually is going to be a pain to kind of get used to doing, and all together in one training session, it's going to be pretty hard. So the confidence of working as hard as you can, right? And this is something that you might not know about yourself in your first maybe couple months of boxing, But once you get in the rhythm and you've been showing up, you start knowing what hard work is, or what your full type of work that you should be doing, your full effort, and you know that you know what it feels like when you don't give it your full effort. So that's the second type of confidence, right? Is giving it all your effort that you can give at that time. So when you first step into the gym, it's your first 3 months, you're not going to be able to work as hard or as good as the top guy in your gym or the top girl in your gym, but just knowing that you're giving it all your effort is enough for you to have that confidence. So the two types of confidence we talked about so far is showing up and giving it all you have, right? Now, there's other types of confidence that you are going to find out in the gym. The confidence of taking a punch, your confidence in your power, your confidence in your footwork, and your confidence in your speed, and all those things, there's confidence within them, and they come together to give you the all-around confidence of who you are. So when you see like a top pro walk in the ring and they're very confident, they built every single piece of their confidence from mastering their footwork. Maybe their confidence comes from their hand speed or their power or their ability to take a punch or their ability to outthink their opponent, right? But they didn't just have that like that when they first stepped in the gym. They found those confidences up. So think confidence, but little pieces. They found those about them. They built each one, and then they joined them together to become that full confidence that when you see them walk in the ring or in the gym, you just feel it about them. And when they step in the ring, they feel like they're the ones that are supposed to win, right? So confidence of showing up, confidence of hard work, confidence of all those little aspects. So skipping, running, maybe your confidence comes from your speed, your power, your thought process, right? So all of those together. Now, there's other types of confidence too, which kind of helps you, right? And that's outside of the gym. So a lot of people think, or a lot of boxers, they think that they're only supposed to do good in the gym and they're going to become better boxers. But that's the farthest thing from the truth. To be a really good boxer, if you want to take this like the long route, it's going to be adjusting your whole life around the boxing, right? So you can't be on time in the boxing gym and not on time at school or on time at work. You can't be hardworking in the boxing gym and not hardworking in your schoolwork or in your other areas of your life. Now, this thing, you might hear it from a lot of coaches or your parents or whatever if you're boxing or playing sports, but you're going to think that they're just saying that so you could do better at school. But they are saying it because of that, but that's not the main reason. The way you do one thing, you probably heard this before, is how you do everything else. And if you only do good in the boxing gym and work hard in the boxing gym, but forget everything else and discredit that or disregard it, that type of behavior outside of the ring is going to seep into the ring. And maybe at your first inconvenience, you're going to quit boxing or not follow through with it because you're not building your habits outside of the gym, right? So we talked about the confidence inside the gym. Now you have to build your confidence outside of the gym. That's wake up time. That's eating the right food, sleeping on time, studying fights, being good to people, being good outside of the ring. Once you build those habits, you get a different type of confidence that you're sacrificing. And that's one of my other points, is when you're living good outside of the ring, you're not only living good to build the habit of being good, but it's called sacrifice. Sacrifice is the major part of confidence. Sacrifice is the currency of confidence or currency of success. So if you don't sacrifice, you will not have the success. And if you don't sacrifice, you will know in the back of your head that you don't belong or you shouldn't reach the heights that you want to reach because you haven't sacrificed anything. And sacrifice doesn't mean not eating junk food. That's a type of sacrifice. But sacrifice means sacrificing of not staying up late, sacrificing of waking up early, right? Sacrificing is giving something up. So don't stay late on your phone. You got to give that up if you want to wake up early and go for your run and be better at the gym. You got to sacrifice maybe going out on the weekends and staying inside and working on your boxing. And when, as much as you sacrifice, that's going to give you the confidence, right? So there's hard work confidence, there's showing up confidence. Showing up is a type of sacrifice, but sacrifice within itself is very important. You got to learn to sacrifice stuff. Not only leading up to your fight where you cut everything out for 2 months or 3 months and then you fight and then you go back to everything. If you want to really build your confidence in boxing, you have to sacrifice a lot of things. Now, I wouldn't take it to the extreme if you're just starting off. The type of sacrifices that you should be making should be minimal and just routine stuff that will make your whole life better, whether you continue boxing or you don't continue boxing. So sleeping early, waking up early, eating the right food, reading, studying, and all those things you want to build up and sacrifice for them so you become more confident in the ring. Right? So this is just the things you did. I haven't talked about your technique. I talked about speed and power, but I haven't talked about how good you are as a boxer. I'm just talking about the confidence that you could create from within you or for yourself without the help of anybody else. So just from you changing your mindset and doing these things, you're going to have a lot of confidence going into the boxing gym from now on. Now, the other thing is once you've been doing boxing for a while, you're going to start seeing yourself either, if you really stick to it and you do the things that I told you, I'll show you what happens in the boxing gym. So you've been there for a year or two. First things first, there's people that are going to join the gym at the same time as you. They might be gone in a week, they might be gone in a day, they might be gone in 2 years, but you're still there, right? So that's the first level of confidence is I stayed when a lot of other people quit. So that's number one. The number two thing is from being there, you're going to get beat up and you're going to start doing better and better. If you stick to it and do what I told you, you might start beating up or doing better than people that were better than you when you first showed up. That's another type of confidence. Another type of confidence is people that were there before you for years. They stopped and you're still with it. You're still sticking to it. That's another type of confidence. And you're just going to keep seeing these small steps. Now, you might not notice them right away because you're involved, your head's in the boxing. But when you take yourself out of that, you're going to see how far you came in your boxing experience, right? Now, I've only talked about things that you could do yourself, for yourself, and things that you'll see in the gym. Now, the other part of confidence is confidence in your boxing ability, and that's not only going to come until you're pretty good, right? Until you've been boxing for a few years and you've had fights and you beat up people, you might have lost, but you've done really good. You might start noticing things that make you different than other fighters, and that's where you're going to start seeing the other type of confidence, right? But just because you reach that level doesn't mean you forget about everything else. You have to keep everything in the same bag together to keep that confidence. Now, depending on how far you take it, you might hit nationals, provincials, you might turn pro and all of that. And that's another type of confidence. Now, every level you go up in boxing, so say you sparring, I talked about this in one of my other videos. Your first time sparring, you're going to have zero confidence. When you've been sparring for a year or two, your confidence is going to get higher. Your confidence might be very high when you're sparring now at your gym, you're beating people up. First time you fight, your confidence is going to be very low. You're going to have a couple fights for your confidence to come up and match what you're doing, right? And this is the amateurs. Your confidence might be very high in club shows, and then you might fight nationals. Your confidence might start at a zero again. And you just keep building it and building it and building it. So every level up that you're going to take in your boxing journey, whether it's first time stepping in the gym, sparring, fighting, nationals, pro, worlds, every time you go up a level, your confidence is going to reset because you've never been at that level and you don't know what to expect, right? So you're going to go up that level, your confidence is going to drop, but if you stay at that level for a while, you know what to expect, and then your confidence is going to match your level, and then so on until you reach the pros, and that each fight becomes a thing of its own. Now, the leveling up is, like I said, it's going to be although you're not going to have the confidence going into a nationals tournament as you had in your club show, you're going to have things to draw from, your club shows that you're going to bring in and give you confidence for the nationals, right? So it's not like you're starting from 0-0, but you're at a lower level of confidence. Now that should teach you that you should never be too overconfident, because there's always someone better than you and someone worse than you, unless you're like number one in the world, which we aren't right now. But if you think of the middle, so there's people better than you that could beat you up, and there's people that you could beat up. If you could always keep that in your mind, it will keep you humble and it will keep you confident, because I'm confident that I could beat other fighters, and I'm humble enough to know that maybe there's another fighter that could beat me. So I have to work harder and harder against myself to prove myself to keep going, and that's going to raise my confidence and make me better, right? So those are the things that kind of give you confidence. Now the things outside of the gym are the most important things. There's a lot of boxers that do really good in the gym, but as soon as they leave, they do other things, and then that kind of diminishes what they do in the ring or in the gym. So you have to keep the outside working just as much as you're doing inside the gym. And yeah, that's confidence for you. I hope I broke it down a little bit easier for you to know where you should get your confidence from, and where you should pull your confidence from, if that makes sense. That's something that I had to think about to give myself confidence in the gym, and I hope I could help you guys too with it. There's one more point that it was on my mind and I just forgot it. Damn. Confidence. Oh, so like I said, when you're going up stages in boxing, you don't know what to expect. But say you've been fighting, I don't have the confidence to, or I might be scared. Being scared or fear is different than confidence. Confidence is just that you belong there and you're at the level that you should be. But so say I don't know what to expect in the pros. I'm amateur and I'm gonna go pro. Visualization, or this might be before your first fight actually. Visualization. Now the reason that we might not be confident in something is because we don't know what to expect. So say you're standing in a lit room, and then you got to walk into a dark room that you don't know what's in there. You're gonna walk in there and you're not gonna be as confident because you don't know where things are. You don't know what to expect, what's in the room. There might be a dog in the room or something, and you're walking into that room. So how do you prepare yourself to walk into that room? Visualization. So close your eyes, visualize yourself walking in the ring. You might have heard this before. Visualize yourself throwing punches, taking punches, what you'll be like in the ring. And then expectations. Never expect everything to go as planned. So you should have the thought of losing in your brain. If you don't, then that's pretty stupid, because losing is a part of the game. So you shouldn't think about losing, but that should be something in your head. And you should wish for winning, right? But depending on your hard work, you'll feel how deserving you are of a win. But visualizing and expecting all of the things that could happen in the ring. So I've thought about being knocked out. I've thought about knocking out. I thought about losing on points. I've won on points. And I've always thought of everything that could happen in the ring. Once you think of every scenario that could happen in the ring, you don't have to dwell on them. Just thinking about them, not all the time, but sometimes, it'll make you more confident, because there's nothing that you don't expect, if that makes sense. So don't dwell on losing or dwell on winning. Wish for winning. Expect everything. And then that way, when you walk into the ring, you won't be scared, because you already thought of everything that could happen. Maybe that's overthinking, but it helped me kind of start being more calm in the ring and having that confidence, because it's not something new to me. It feels like you've been there before. The other thing is, to build confidence, is studying film. Now, studying film, so say you train 3 hours in the ring, in the boxing gym. Now you're really tired, you can't train again. Watch a boxing fight. Watching something will help you learn new techniques without actually doing them, just by looking at them. And then you could double your training. So instead of only training 3 hours a day, you could train 5 hours a day, 3 physical and 2 visual. So that increases your learning and you gain more experience. Once you watch a lot of fights, you know what to expect in the ring, of course. And then now it brings up your confidence because like the dark room thing, you know what to expect when you're going in the ring. Okay, guys, I rambled a lot today about confidence, but that's something that I want to show you guys or tell you guys because it's a very important part of boxing. If you don't have confidence, it's very hard to be a boxer. And if you only have confidence and you don't have the work ethic to put behind the confidence, then that's just stupid. So yeah, I want to tell you guys this today, and hopefully that will help you guys or girls with your confidence in the ring and with general stuff. Okay, guys, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.